The Phoenix Suns have defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 108-96 to take a 1-0 lead to start the 2021 NBA Finals. Let's break down what happened in today's game and see if there's any encouraging signs for the Bucks moving forward. So first off, in the first quarter, Giannis definitely did not seem like he was hesitating at all. Giannis made a real big effort of going inside and being able to finish around the rim. It didn't, to me, seem like anybody could stop Giannis. I mean, if he's 80% healthy, 90% healthy, I don't feel like there's anyone on the Suns team that can be able to stop him and go one-on-one with him. The one thing I was really interested to see going into the game was how intense would Booker be at getting into the basket. If you look at some of his shot attempts throughout the playoffs, he's not really getting to the basket a whole lot. He's just getting to the free throw line and getting his threes and mid-range game going. Also, it looked like the Bucks were having a hard time just really scoring at the rim. It looked like they were really intimidated by Deandre Ayton, who, again, he's a good big, but I'm not going to sit here and say that he's one of the best defensive bigs in the game. It definitely looked like the Bucks were hesitating at the rim when he was in the game. The one thing that the Suns were able to do off of the Bucks switching on defense was being able to get Deandre Ayton the ball where he wants it. I mean, there were a lot of plays where Ayton was just getting catches and he had a smaller PJ Tucker on him and was able to get a little hook shot or anything like that. Chris Paul and other players as well were doing a great job of being able to get Ayton the ball where he wanted it and really being able to expose the mismatches that were there. There were a couple double screens that the Suns did that made it a little difficult for the Bucks to communicate and really just made it so Ayton was just getting the ball wherever he wanted and made life easy for the Suns. I can see why the Bucks would switch, but I don't know if they have the personnel to do it without DiVincenzo. There was the one play where Paul totally just crossed up Bobby Portis. Just shows that the Bucks can't have Lopez or Portis out there playing one-on-one against Chris Paul on the perimeter. Ultimately, at the end of the first half, I thought that this Bucks team really needed to be more aggressive. The Suns were just giving it to them, and they just didn't have really much to say. They didn't have any pushback. They needed to get to the line a lot more, and it just wasn't happening. When the lead grew in the third quarter for the Suns, I kind of questioned where Middleton and Holiday were. It seemed like they had no imprint on the game at that point. Brook Lopez is essentially in a lose-lose situation. Because he can't defend on the perimeter, it makes it so hard for him to be in the game at some points. He's never been a good rebounder, and it just makes it hard for the Bucks to really be confident throwing him out there, especially when the Suns are going to be able to attack the switches as good as they are. A lot of praise goes to Chris Paul. He was able to set the table for a lot of his teammates and be able to get the ball where it needed to be and be efficient on his end as well. One interesting thing that I saw the Bucks do in the fourth quarter was that they put Giannis at the 5. They took Lopez out of the game in the fourth quarter, and that was their highest point total for a quarter during the game. Being able to play Giannis at the 5 gives the Bucks an opportunity to have shooters be spread around him. The Bucks actually shot a higher effective field goal percentage in this game. They hit more threes, they had a higher three-point percentage in the game, but ultimately the Suns being able to get to the free throw line as much as they did was a difference maker. I'm not going to sit here and say the refs decided the game or anything crazy like that, because they're not the reason that Middleton and Holiday were as bad as they were. However, it is something to note from this first game. In finals games, you would think that the refs wouldn't call as many fouls, but in this game, it definitely worked in the Suns' favor. Chris Middleton did not even take a single free throw in this game, so he's got to be a little bit more aggressive in the game moving forward. It's surprising to me to actually look at plus minus because Giannis was a +1, everybody else was negative other than a couple of bench guys. Drew Holiday goes 4-14 from the field, does not hit a single three. He's got to be better. He's got to be able to make sure that he is efficiently scoring. On the Suns' end, Crowder was 0 of 8, 0 of 5 from 3. He did get 9 rebounds, so you got to credit him for that. He also had the highest plus minus on the team, but it would be great to see him hit some shots. Mikal Bridges was 5 of 13 from the field. He did miss 8 shots, so I wonder if there's something that the Bucks can force there to make sure that he's the one that beats him as opposed to Paul or Booker. Chris Paul was amazing in this game, goes 12 of 19 overall from the field, has 9 assists, drops 32 points. Cameron Johnson and Cameron Payne came in and was able to provide some spark, and that's kind of been the story for the Suns for the whole postseason run, as they definitely get boosted from those two guys. And what really takes them over the top is being able to get Crowder or Bridges going in a game. You know, I was a little unimpressed by Devin Booker today. He goes 8 of 21. He 1 of 8 from 3. He's kind of gets bailed out with 10 free throws that he was able to make. He did move the ball pretty well. He did have 6 assists, but ultimately I don't feel like he really got into a rhythm in this game. And again, I will be watching him to see exactly what he's going to be providing in the series, because to me it looked like Jrue Holiday was able to get Booker off of his game a little bit. Ultimately, I still believe that this is going to be a close series, even though the Suns were up by 20 at one point in this game. I just feel like Holiday and Middleton will be able to bounce back. Now, whether that's in game 2 in Phoenix or one of the games in Milwaukee, but I do believe that Milwaukee will be able to come away with a game in this series for sure. My initial prediction was Suns in 6. And it still looks like that. I just think that Chris Paul, while he may not be the most talented player on the floor, he definitely is the most impactful. And if we're going to consistently see the inconsistency of Middleton and Holiday, the Bucks don't stand a chance to win the series. They could steal a game or two, but I just don't feel like they're going to be able to win if we don't get a consistent version of Jrue Holiday or Chris Middleton. Giannis played great given the circumstances he was in after being injured just about a week ago, so I can't really fault Giannis for only having just 20 points. Ultimately, this is a series. Both coaches are going to go back to the drawing board and see what works and what doesn't. The MVP of the game has to be Chris Paul. Game 2 is on Thursday, and we'll see if the Suns can take a 2-0 lead or if the Bucks can go back to Milwaukee after tying the series up. Hi there, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe, as we're going to be posting more NBA videos as the NBA Finals is upcoming, along with off-season moves, trade speculation, and the NBA draft, and all other things basketball.